Hello, this is Dan Rock, and I'm here to show you how to use OneDrive for the Curriculum and Instruction Review collaboration. The School Improvement Division is going to be housing all of the up-to-date resources in OneDrive. And in order to use them in the field, you're going to need to use OneDrive to both access them as well as share them with other teachers or leaders who are doing the CIR with you on your team. So in this webinar, you're going to learn to create a folder in OneDrive. You'll learn to import the resources from the official SREB CIR folder so that you have access to them and can manipulate them and share them. You're going to learn to change permissions on your folder so that they are shared with people and that the correct people can edit the documents as you collaborate around collecting evidence. We're going to learn to use the observation form by duplicating the official version that you don't have access to use and creating one that you can use, and then how to get the results. This is going to help us with both consistency and efficiency. That's the target for using this process. The instructions that I'm going to go over today are all written down with screenshots, so you should have access to this as well to help you navigate. The first step is to log into Office 360. I've put a link here, 365, or if you choose to, you can go to office365.com. You're going to use your work account and you're going to sign in with the same login as you do for your desktop computer for SREB. Now, OneDrive functions as Google Drive, where you have Word that you can use online and collaborate with people. You have Excel that you can use online, PowerPoint that you can use online, and forms. These are the things we're going to be using. Really, we're going to be using Word, OneDrive, and Forms. OneDrive is a collection of folders that can be shared by you with other people who have a Microsoft account. And we'll talk about helping them get access to an account. So this is my OneDrive. I have all kinds of folders from the past. So let's assume that I have a coming up curriculum and instruction review. I'm going to create a folder in OneDrive for that school district. Okay. So, it already exists because I was doing this earlier. So we'll call this fake school district. We'll call this phony school district. Create. All right. Now that I have a phony school district, I'm going to scroll down and find that folder. There it is. Just was created a few seconds ago. I'm going to open it and I'm going to create a school within it. So it's going to be phony high school. And I'm also going to be doing a CIR for the middle school. So I'm also going to do one for phony middle school. If you only are going to be working with one school in one district for sure, you can just create that one school and not worry about doing the district, right? I created the district and the schools because I have multiple schools in that district. So now I have a folder for my school, but they're empty. There's nothing in them. I need to go to the official SREB CIR folder and copy those documents into this one so that I become the owner of those copies. So you will have access in your shared. I'm clicking on shared because we will share with everybody the CIR MSW official folder. However, you will have read-only rights. So you can't manipulate, delete, or change anything in these folders. Well, that's not going to help you in the field. So that's why you need to copy them and put them into your folder. So to do that, I'm going to highlight them in the little checkbox. Blue and white checks come out, and I'm going to click Copy To. Well, where do I want to copy them to, right? It's going to make a copy, and it's going to send them to a certain place. Over here on the right-hand side, it says Copy 2 items. Yes. To where? To my OneDrive. But where in my OneDrive do I want them to go? When I click on this, it'll show all of my documents. So I'm going to scroll down, all of my folders. I'm going to scroll down to Phoney School District. And these are the high school, collaborative, and resources. So I'm going to put those two in Phoney High School. And I'm going to copy here. Copy 2 items to Phoney High School. Perfect. Now I'm going to take these two and I'm going to copy them to Phoney Middle School. Phoney School District, Phoney Middle School. Copy here. Awesome. Now I can go straight to them I can have just 2 ways I can go. I can go back to Files, and that'll take me there, or this will take me straight to the folder that I just put them in. I'll do that shortcut. So this took me right to Phoney Middle School, and here they are. Now this is the pathway for my folders. So if I go back here, this is Phoney School District. So Phoney Middle School, Phoney High. So let's check, make sure those Phoney High School ones are in there. They sure are. So inside of those folders are resources. We'll go over what exactly these resources are in another webcast. This is just a process technical webcast. So now I've got my folders, my resources in my high school folder. However, this says private. Only I can see them, only I can manipulate them, only I can do anything. But the purpose of this folder is to give access to our partners so they have the resources as well. So what I'm going to do is go back to Phoney School District so I can see the both schools. I'm going to highlight the high school by checking it, and I'm going to share. There's 2 ways to share. One is to click share, and one is this little guy to click share. Same thing. Share. So I'm going to click on share, and I'm going to type in the email of the people that I want to share access with. When I type in their email, AK Sermon, oops, excuse me, try that again. Click that, click share. I'm going to type in the email, rockjdaniel@gmail.com, aksermon@yahoo.com. All right. So these are people outside the organization. These are emails that this Outlook isn't familiar with. Before I click send, I want to make an important point. By clicking send, it's going to send to them an email message that says, Daniel Rock has shared a folder with you. So it's important that you let them know to expect this. Otherwise, they may delete it. They may just be confused. So in the instructions, I have written a little email that you can use that tells them that we're looking forward to collaborating with you. To facilitate our collaboration, I have created a collaborative folder. Shortly, you will be sent an email informing you that I have invited you to a shared folder. When you click on the link, it will prompt you to create a Microsoft account. If you already have one associated with this email address, you can simply enter the email address and join the group. So what the point of this email is that they're going to have to create a login for Microsoft Office 365. Just like if we were using Google Drive, they'd have to have a Gmail. They don't need to change their email. The important point here is that they will use this email right here. So AK Sermon will use AK Sermon. If she does not have a Outlook account, it will tell her to create one. It'll say type in your email, type in your password, create your password, okay, and then she can access. So once I click send, now let's look what it looks like from their end. Sometimes if it doesn't pop up, I click refresh. The email comes in and there'll be an email saying Daniel Rock has shared a folder with you. There it is. I click on that. Now I am the principal or the AP or district person. I got this email. My internet's being a little slow. Sorry. Okay, there we go. And then I'll say open. And it'll take me to OneDrive. Now, I'm already signed in, okay? If I wasn't signed in, if I were to sign out, right, what'll happen is when they click on this, it will prompt them to a login, right? So, because I've logged in, it's there. It remembers me. It'll probably, for them, say, create an account. So they'll click on create an account. It'll say enter your email, create a password, verify your password, and then they'll be able to log in. Like you, I have too many passwords and can barely remember which one it is. Okay, so I messed up because I can't remember my password right now. But if I did, I would be able to log in like you saw earlier and see everything. But for time's sake, I'm just going to move forward. So now they have access, right? They'll remember their password, they'll log in. If they forget their password, they can create a new one. There's going to be people who just show up that day, who were told to go that day before, or who never clicked on anything, who never do anything. That's fine. That's almost easier, because then you can just click share here, do what you did before, type in their email, they can sign up right there, boom, they're ready to go. But for security reasons within SREB and policy reasons, we cannot just make it open to everybody. We have to have them log in. All right, so now Phony High School is shared with Daniel Rock. Okay, now this person, AK Sermon, she has not yet logged in. So that's why you don't see her there, her name there. But once she logs in appropriately, she will show up. So next, I'm going to, I have two folders. And what I need to do is make one folder so that people can edit. If you notice, these are all documents, interview questions. We are going to type into these interview questions together. As a team, one person might be typing in answers to instruction with the school leaders, right? Right? I love my school. Okay? While another person is typing into the same document for school leaders or for academic teachers. So we want to work on this synchronously. To do that, I have placed all of the documents that we collaborate on, the synthesis sheet, the final report, the interview questions, and the debrief PowerPoint, into one folder. I'm going to click on that folder. I'm going to move to this where it says sharing. And I'm going to change Daniel, who's my principal district person, and I'm going to click allow edit. So you'll have maybe 5, 6, maybe 10 people. You'll go to each person and say allow edit. And what that means now is when he clicks on this, he can edit all the documents inside of it. However, this one, he can only view. He can't edit. And that's how we want it. So now your folders are ready. They have access to them, and they can edit the documents in the collaborative folder, and they can see the documents in the resources folder. Now it's time to set up the observation document. So we're going to go back to shared. That was where that was in the official document. So in the official shared folder, you're going to find the official observation. Now, when you click on it, you can't touch it. You can't change anything. It's read-only, right? So what you need to do is duplicate it. What that will do is that'll build a copy into your OneDrive. I click duplicate, and now remember I showed you earlier that you had Office, you had Word, and you also have Forms. Here, when I go to Microsoft Home, just to show you, I have Office, Word, Excel, and Forms. When I clicked that button just now, when I pressed this, it took me to Forms. So now I'm in Forms. And this is my version. It's a copy. So I'm going to change the name of this copy to Phony High School Observations. And maybe there's something that needs to be adjusted in the form. Maybe they say, we want you to also look for essential questions, or we want you to call them learning targets instead of objective, or learning objectives instead of that. You can now edit this form. But let's assume you're not going to edit it. What you need to do now that you have the form is you need to get a link for them to enter in the information. What you're looking at here, when you see questions and responses, this is your draft for editing. This is not for people to put in their answers. To get the link for them to put in their responses, you click Share, and then you copy that link. So I'm copying the link. I push Copy. So now I've copied the link. I go back to my school. I'm going to find Phony School again, which I can easily do actually by going to Files, OneDrive, again, internet can be a little slow sometimes. Okay. Now shortcut, if you want. Sometimes instead of scrolling down, you can type in search phony school district. And then I'm going to go into phony high school. I'm going to click in new, and I'm putting the link. Remember, I got the link to the form for entering. So I'm going to type in, create a link to this, and I'm going to call it high school observation form. Create. So now, when people in phony high school go to this folder, they'll click on this, and this is where they will go. Now here, they type in their information after they do each observation or as they do the observation. So the people in phony high school are going to have this folder, and they'll know to go into these things. You may at the original meeting say, make this a favorite in your browser, right? So it's easy to get to, because this is where everything they need is going to be. Last step. They've entered all this information, but how do I get the results? The answer is to go back to forms. So there's two ways to do it, right? I can go to here where I had all of these things. The shortcut is this. When you see this button up here at the top left, you can click on forms. So you can either go to your Office 365 home, or you can just click on the blue button and click on forms. When you go to forms, you'll see I've created a lot of forms in trying to set this up, right? But this is the one, phony high school observation form. I open it up, and now I click on responses, and I'll have all of my responses here. And there'll be charts and graphs and very nicely laid out. And I can open up the responses in an Excel document. And I can copy and paste those charts right onto my PowerPoint. And just to be clear, because these are shared, and because I shared the whole folder, everything in here now, everyone can edit, or he can edit, because I gave him permission. So when I open up this PowerPoint, I'm online. Just like if you ever use Google Slides or Google Docs, it's the same thing, right? So we can make this PowerPoint what evidence exists to support a need to improve various aspects. We're all typing this together in the school that day. We don't have to email it back and forth. Again, I'll have it. Well, there'll be another webcast that will actually talk about these documents. This is a synthesis document. This is a Word Online. So it's got all the functionality of Word, but we can type into it together. Okay? So now you know how to set up your schools in OneDrive. You have written instructions to help you, and feel free to shoot me an email if you have any further questions.